friends, what's going on? It's Ultimus, and this is a video being done per request. A couple days ago, I had a friend of mine request a video going over what add-ons I use. So, I decided why the heck not. It's not very often anymore that I get requests for videos, and so when I do like to try to follow up on them as long as it is within my ability to do so, and this is definitely one of those videos that is pretty easy to do. I'm going to try to keep it as concise and straightforward as I can, and so there will of course probably be a whole lot of editing and stuff like that and patching all this together. My plan is to go over which add-ons I use, maybe talk about how I configure them and how you can configure them as well to make your life using add-ons a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and jump right in. For starters, you're going to need a place to download your add-ons. Pretty much the best place, and dare I say only place to really download your add-ons that is trusted and safe, is Curse. Basically just type in Curse Gaming, Curse add-ons, anything like that into your Google search bar or whatever search bar you use. God help you if you use Bing, and then you're able to get there. You can use the Curse client, which you can use to keep all of your add-ons updated automatically. I've heard some controversial things about using the Curse client, so I avoid it, and I just strictly stick to operating and managing them manually because it really isn't that big of an issue. So what you're going to do is you're going to download your add-ons from Curse, whichever ones you like, and then you are going to save them, of course, to a destination place. You can save them to your desktop, wherever you want, or straight into the folder that you want. Now, they are going to go into your, wherever you've loaded World of Warcraft, they are going to go into the interface folder, and then there is an add-ons folder. If there is not an add-ons folder there, you'll need to make one. All one word, add-ons. A and the O capitalized, as you can see down here on the bottom. If you look at the button, you'll want to type it out exactly like that. You'll then take the zip file or the RAR file that you'll be downloading from Curse and extract all the files to there, and then get that done. And the next time you load into World of Warcraft, you'll have the add-ons button down there, and you can configure them all in game. So, that being said, I figured I'd throw that out there in case some of you watching this video are maybe new to using add-ons, new to WoW, all that kind of stuff. So, with that out of the way. So, as you can see, we are now in game, and you're getting a look at my interface, how I've set things up. Most of you are probably familiar with this if you've seen any of the videos I've put out going over just playing the game in general. So this isn't exactly anything new or exciting. There's nothing special about my UI setup. It's just the way I find most comfortable. I like the way it keeps my screen pretty empty and clear when I'm doing PvP. That way there's nothing cluttering my field of view. As you can see over here, we'll go over Sexy Map real quick. I've got it going on where I just have the runes floating around the map. I like that one the best personally. As of WoD, there is an ability now where we can go on and we can manage our add-ons right in the screen. So if you have an add-on you want to turn off, you can do that. Hit /reload, and then you're able to turn add-ons on and off for the most part right there in your game. Interface. So if you're going to want to manage your add-ons in game, you're going to go over here to add-ons. When you pull up the interface tab from game to add-ons, so here we're seeing NPC scan. So with NPC scan, you're allowed to pull up like which ones you want to follow. So for this one, like as you can see, it says like high value targets. Defeat all the creatures with an Ashran listed below. And so this one, you're able to keep track of these, check them, all that kind of stuff. And so you can kind of keep an idea. It's almost like a checklist for what rare spawns like important. And then of course this is all attached to achievements, and you can check that, uncheck that if you so desire. All the little like different colored textures on the map here, like you see that yellow, there's the red, there's the green, there's a blue over here. Same thing over here in Nagrand. You have the yellow, there's the blue. Talador, same thing. All those different colors on the map mark different rare spawns. Now, if you pull up with it, toggle the key over here, you can toggle all this on and off. So, track mob paths, turn that on, turn that off if you don't like the clutter. So this shows you again where they tend to be. And then, of course, if you turn this on, you can see the names for each one. So if you want to get a feel for where each rare spawn is and you're hunting for specific ones, then you can pull that up and you know exactly which one is which. So in and of itself, the add-on itself is actually very, very handy for NPC scanning. Again, this functions for all rare spawns from Vanilla, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mist of Pandaria, and now in Warlords of Draenor. Bartender, very nifty add-on. This is how I move all this stuff around. The cool thing about Bartender as well is you get a cool little tab up here that you can keep track of. I try to keep mine spread out enough so like when I queue for things, it doesn't get in the way of the queuing eyeball, so I can kind of keep track of all that. Oh, that's right, the Apex event is tomorrow. But here for Bartender, it puts a nice little tab right here, so if you click on it just with the left click, it lets you move stuff around if you want. When it's green, you can click on it and bar snapping, all this stuff, and you can even lock the bars when you're done. And then if you right click on it, it pulls up the interface menu, which lets you move stuff around, change the size. So if you look down here, we have bar 1. You can do all of this stuff. You can adjust the padding, so that's how much space is in between it. And again, it makes every action bar you have customizable. So all the action bars that you wouldn't necessarily have access to without scrolling, you can turn them on, and then you're able to move them around. So you see bar 3 is over here, and we can take it. We can scale it to be bigger if we want, if you're into all that stuff. If you want to keep some stuff right there massive, you can adjust the rows. So if you look at bar 3 over here now, you're able to adjust it if you want it long ways, tall, a little bit thicker like a square, all that kind of stuff. You can mess around with it, all that. So, which is kind of cool. You can hide the macro text on the bar specifically. You can hide the borders, all that good stuff. So this is probably one of my favorite add-ons of all time. I've used it for a while now and I can't get enough of it. You can turn the experience bar off if you want. You turn the Blizzard art bar on or off. Obviously it's off for me because it looks a little weird there if it's not. Reputation bars on or off. That's the kind of stuff that just hasn't necessarily been really that important to me. Vehicle bar, pet bar, all that kind of stuff like there. Stance bar, it's its own unique thing. I keep my vehicle one right over here so I can just hop right off, all that good stuff. And of course closing it, canceling it, we're done. So that's that. The cool thing about this as well is you can actually adjust your macros and hotkeys over all these as well when you have it open, which is kind of cool. So if you go over the key bindings and you like mouse over it or whatever, you can adjust it whether you want character specific keybinds or just all of your keybinds that way. So if I wanted to make keybinds specific to Ultimus, I would do this. I could mouse over it and then hit the key I want, and that would change the keybind for it. It gets a little bit tricky managing that with the interface keybinds that are standard for World of Warcraft, so you'll have to mess around with that. It gets a little tricky. I tend to just manage my keybinds in the WoW interface and not even mess with them using Bartender. Since these are action bars that are in-game anyways, you just got to figure out which action bar is which isn't too much of trouble anyways. Bagnon. Bagnon is one of my favorite little handy little add-ons. Allows you to move it unless you have it locked. I kind of like it just sitting right over here, but it's nice to be able to pick it up if I want. Basically converts all of your bag space into one bag, interface-wise. It still remembers which bag is which, so like you couldn't pick up a bag and drop it if there's stuff in it. Up here, like here, you can get a look at which bags you have equipped as well, and it kind of shows you which bags are which. As you can see, these ones are glowing. So we have our main backpack, which is that top section. Our second backpack, third, fourth, and fifth down there. And then what it'll even let you do is you can click that button and it cleans up your bags real nice. So let's say we put all of our stuff down here. There's all this. Oh my gosh, our bags are a mess. We just got done running ICC. And there's crap everywhere. Hit the arrange button, clean it up, puts all the trash down there at the bottom for me and all the useful stuff. It allocates by section. So all of your gear is going to get thrown in one place and all the other stuff after that, which is kind of cool. It even has a search function. So if I want to search for something, so now when I see typed in Glad, so now I'm seeing everything with Glad in the title. So Wild Gladiators Decapitator, Brutal Gladiators Mutilator, all that stuff like that. Lets you search for it. So it's very handy if you're looking for a piece of gear or equipment and you're like, I swear I looted that, where is it? And this helps you find out if you did loot it or maybe accidentally sold it. So that's one of my favorite features about it. And it also lets you see what's in your other character's bag. So here now we're looking at our shaman's bags. Obviously I can't drag and drop anything because it's over on the other character, but it lets you see what is in their bags. So I can go over to Spirit Fox, my Death Knight, and I can see all the stuff he has in his bags. Oh cool, he has all the flowers I was looking for. Awesome. So I can check that. So now I know without having to log on to all my characters, I can just check and see from the one, and that lets me see, you know, where everything is at, so I don't have to keep logging in and out of characters and bugging my friends with my logged in, logged out spam. So pretty cool. It also lets you scroll through some of your other add-ons, which is pretty nifty as well. So like say for here, for example, we have Atlas Loot. We're going to click on it and now it pulls up our Atlas Loot interface. Now Atlas Loot itself already has its own tool up here on the top, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of cool that it's in one place. Another thing that's really nice about Bagnon is that it keeps track of all your total gold on all of your characters. So basically what we're seeing here is we can get a good look at all the gold we have across all of our characters, and it gives us our total amount that we have across every character we have. So it's kind of nice to keep track of where your gold is, all that kind of stuff like that, so nothing's missing. You know exactly how much it is, and so you can get a feel for kind of where everything's situated. So that in of itself is kind of cool for me, because sometimes I'm like, I'm losing gold, then I look at the total amount I have across a lot of toons, and I'm like, oh, I'm not that bad, we're good. So, which is kind of cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else with Bagnon that's really cool. Of course, there's the configuration stuff from the add-on section. Automatic display, so you can mess with all the automatic stuff display inventory when visiting the bank. So again, you can turn that off, so as soon as you open the bank tab, your bag is going to open as well. So all the cool little settings right there. So display inventory when trading items. So all that stuff, you can check that out yourself if you're interested in it. I just have it set up to open my bags when I visit the bank, when I visit the guild bank, and then close it when I leave a vendor. So it's pretty handy, so I don't have to worry about my bags being open or shut, all that kind of stuff. And of course, colors. I don't really mess with that at all. It doesn't really mean that much to me. I just want the add-on to work for its intended purpose. And then of course you have it turned on to our highlight quest items. So anything that was for a quest is going to have a highlight around it. I don't think I have any quest items really in my bag at the moment anyways, so which is okay. And I almost completely forgot about Atlas Loot. Atlas Loot is a very handy add-on if you are hunting after transmogs. Gives you a list of everything from Warlords of Draenor, Mist of Pandaria, Cataclysm, Wrath of the Lich King, Burning Crusade, Classic, collection items, crafting items, faction-specific items, PvP-only items, and world events. So, of course, that would be things that require the seals, stuff like the Champion's Claymore from the Trial of the Crusader, or what's that place? The Grand Tournament. I should say, the one where you do all those dailies, and the thing is a pain in the butt to grind. I really want to do it on my Death Knight, but I'm too lazy. So let's just say Burning Crusade. We want to see... Alright, let's find out everything that drops from Black Temple. So it gives us a list of the bosses. Coins over here. Gold is what you're selected. Also trash mobs, patterns that drop the full sets of things, which is kind of cool. So you can get a look at the whole warrior set. Got that right there. Boom. God only knows why Blizzard decided the boots and the belt would look like Sunwell items. I know they drop from Sunwell, but why they don't match the rest of the set, God only knows. So there's that, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, you can look at all that stuff. Tells you where it drops. Pretty nifty, I think. The Ash Tongue items, all that stuff. Of course, what's required for the Outland Raider. But what I mostly use it for is just the loot. Like, for example, let's say I wanted to go start farming stuff for my Shadow Priest. So I would go through and I would look through Black Temple and see, okay, what here is cloth that I like, that I want. So you just mouse over it, it shows you the stats on it. Some of the older items will show you drop chance on it as well, which is interesting. Let's see if it still does it. I know that the old... I don't think, actually, I don't know if it does it anymore, which is fine. I know the old Gladius used to. Or not Gladius, I'm sorry, the old Atlas used to, which is cool. Now, though, is now that everything drops pets, they've updated to where you can now see the pets. So a lot of the old classic raids will drop battle pets from them, which is a cool little addition, but it's cool too that you can now actually see what they look like right here rather than just getting a name for it. But I do like it a lot. I don't use it as much anymore because, again, I've pretty much got everything I want on my warrior, but on other toons as well, it's kind of cool to go through and look and see, all right, I know there's this item in game, let's try to find it. I remember which section of the game it's from, so I'll go, okay, Burning Crusade. Let's look through all the raids. So again, you can, same thing, control and click, just like you would anything else, and you can look and see what it looks like on your characters. So, pretty nifty. There's those beautiful Warglaives place. So, again, Atlas Loot, very, very handy. And again, you can look, it gives you all the dungeons and raids that are allocated to each specific section of the game. Same thing, dungeons, raids, so Naxxramas, there's that. So, very handy add-on for the Transmog Hunter, for sure. Let's take a look at Gladius real quick. Quest, what you're going to see over here is just an example of what it's going to look like. So you're going to test the 2v2, 3v3, 5 versus 5. So we can situate these how we want. Let's unlock them first. Lock our frames. So we can move that around as we see fit. Kind of like to make it to where it's not in the way of anything, obviously, which is a big deal. I'm probably just going to throw some PvP footage over this right now just so you can see how it functions in an actual arena match. But as you can see on the frames itself, it keeps track of the trinket over there. And if you'll watch On some of them, you'll see trinkets go off, and it'll tell you how much time is left on the trinket for cooldowns. You'll be able to see all of the defensive and offensive cooldowns on an enemy player over here that they have. You'll see certain CC durations spinning over here to the left of the nameplate, which is kind of cool. So you're able to see how much longer they have the diminishing return left on a stun or a snare or anything like that. So you can time your CC right, so you're not just overlapping stuns and fears and things like that. So you're getting the most out of your CC. Now, sometimes you just want the CC no matter what, so you're willing to take the quarter duration or the half duration stun or whatever it is. But that's a completely different guide for a different time. You know, it's a whole PvP guide necessarily, not just add-ons. You can set up profiles for it, which is kind of cool. So you can just basically, when you log into a new character that you just got to 100, or you're managing all this, if this is a new download from you, you can set it up the way you like it on your main character, and then you just save the profile, and then you go up to the existing profile, and then you click on that character, and then you can load it over, which is kind of cool. So let's say Adama has the template there, so we would just click on it and it would load it in and does all that, which is kind of cool. So as you can see, each profile is being loaded depending on the character. So Ultimus, there's Ultimus, does all that, which is kind of cool. You can reset it if you want. You can even do announcements and things like that. You can make it to where basically with this add-on, you can make it to where it's going to say certain things in party or say or yell when you have a low health threshold. So this one's super handy as well. When you're trying to cast a res, when you're drinking, low health, spec detection, all that kind of stuff like that. So this is the kind of stuff you'll see when you're playing with people doing arenas or skirmishes. You'll see this stuff kind of pop up, and you might be thinking, how on God's green earth do they have time to type all that out? Well, they don't. It's their add-on. So with this add-on, what it's letting them do is, you know, it just automatically sends that stuff into chat so you can know and keep an eye on it. Though for the most part, if you're doing arenas anyways, you're using voice chat, so, but it's good to have either way. Handy notes, same thing. It lets you see all the different treasures and stuff like that, Draenor treasures all throughout. So let's go over here to Spires of Iraq, right? That's where we're at. Cool, works for me. As you can see, the little treasure bits over here that we haven't looted yet. Once you've looted something, it disappears from the map, so you don't have to get confused and wonder, hey, did I loot that? So that's kind of cool. So it shows you where all the different treasures are that you can get. It even leaves little notes on it sometimes. Notes allows faster mining in Draenor on that key. It's a key for a chest in Admiral Taylor's garrison. This is the coffer. Requires the old key, all that kind of stuff. So if there's any kind of tricks to finding it or stuff like that, there might be notes attached to it, which is pretty cool. Kuai nameplates. Kuai nameplates is really cool because I have it set up to where I toggle it with V. V will switch between enemy nameplates and friendly nameplates. So since we're not really in combat, let's go ahead and take a look at friendlies. This lets you do the general display, change all the stuff around that you want to glow. You can change the height on it, so we can make it really skinny or really chubby, which is kind of cool. I usually let it sit about the 25 to 27 mark. Trivial health bar height. You can adjust the width, so you can make it longer if you want. I usually set mine about 145. I feel like that's a good healthy size for me, so I can actually keep track of it. You can change the colors on it if you want. So like if you like, let's see, what do I have it on? W glass. I want to make sure. Okay, cool. So you can change it to runes. So as you see, the texture on that changed, which is kind of cool. Blizzard, all that stuff. And then so I have it on W glass, which I just like that clean slick look with the bright on top and the dark on the bottom. And then we'll go over real quick and look at this one real quick. Yeah, so that almost looks like something out of the Matrix. Kind of cool. All right, whatever. So there's that. Quartz. Quartz is what lets me see cast bars. Quartz is completely adjustable, stuff like that. So with Quartz, it lets me see, I've got it nestled right down there, my personal mount and any spells I cast, any crafting I do, all that kind of stuff. So if I craft something, it's going to be there. Let's just drop one of these real quick so you can see. Now we're going to create a riddle of true steel. There's that. So there's the crafting. Same thing with mounts and all that. And you can adjust all this in your interface as well with Quartz. You can hide the icon or not. Toggle the bar lock so you can see and move it around wherever you want. I like it just nestled right there in the center. It just makes it really clean. It helps keep my interface from getting cluttered. And of course, all the little things. You can even adjust profile. So again, once you get it set up how you like with one character, you can just quick and easy load it over to the next if you want. And you can view the cast bars on everything from players, targets, focus targets, pets, latency, trade skill merge, global cooldowns, buffs. Buffs will be displayed as a bar that will be diminishing as they deteriorate. Timers, swing timers, interrupts, range, flights, enemy cast bars, all that stuff. Normally I have my Scala damage meter over here, but I think I have it set up to where it's not displayed when I'm out of combat, so it's kind of nice. Let's look at the Enchantress really quick. Or sorry, on. When you have a follower set to work in your Enchantress hut, you get access to the illusions. This is where illusion preview comes in. You're able to talk to your worker. It doesn't have to be on. That's just who I have. And if you hold down control and you click, it lets you take a look at the different enchants on your weapon before you use it. So like as you can see right here, we're going to put Mongoose on it. Throws the green glow on there with the lightning, which is kind of hard to see with the sword itself. Power Torrent. So you get that bigger glowy thing, and soon we'll see it go purple. So it just gives you an idea for like which enchants and stuff like that you can see if you want to make it to where your weapon has a different glow to it. I like it. Anything that gives me more customizability in the game, I dig it. And then of course if you're a shaman, you can make your weapon imbues look different if that's your jam. So with the garrison ones, what this lets you do is it's going to give you how many followers you have on missions, working and idle, all that kind of stuff. It's going to give you all this for your resource management. Require currency. We're not sure what that is entirely. But if you look at the section here, it's going to go over which abilities you're able to counter with your specific abilities, and it's going to give you the percentages on it, how many followers, all that good stuff there. So you're getting more details on all of your missions. So like for here, we're going to take a look at 96%. These are the guys it's going to give us. We're countering everything but what looks like 2, which is totally fine because we counter enough of the other ones. So a 96%. And then it gives you over here, if you want to look, it gives you options to know that you actually are able to get different percentages if you wait for certain other followers. So for example, Kiana Moonshadow is on a mission for another 2 hours and 7 minutes. So we can wait if we want. And we can do that. However, it does say hold a Shadow Blade and Soul Binder to Lonnie. So let's go ahead and let's see, who should we drop instead? So we can get that. I'm curious what the 100% makeup would be. Okay, no, I see what it is now. Okay, so this is giving you complete and total look at what the 100% team would be. So we have 2 of them. We just need 1 more that we're missing. So that's how that works. Sorry. I should have went over that a little bit more in depth before I got into all of this video. So, gives you again a look at all that. And the nice thing about it too from that is it lets you complete all of your missions with 1 click, as you just saw, rather than going through and clicking them individually. And it gives you a pretty concise look at your interface, the summary, the statistics. Holy crap, that's how much gold we made from that. That's insane. With the different races you have active, all that kind of stuff, plus the buffs. What you have counterable, all that good stuff, and of course it keeps track of all this up there for you. I'm not gonna lie, it's been so long since I've seen the standard garrison interface. I don't really remember what is included in the standard garrison interface, what isn't, but I know a lot of the stuff is from the 2 garrison add-ons that I use, and so I do recommend them. And the same thing goes for your naval missions. I don't know why I keep doing naval missions. I must be masochistic, to be completely honest. But the same thing goes here with the experience. It's giving you all of the good stuff, letting you know what your percentages are and whether or not you should even be messing around with it. And I need more oil. So, that. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Postal, as you can see here, when we open it up, it has the open all button, open or return buttons right there on it, which is kind of cool. Very simple, straightforward add-on that lets you just mess less time around with your mailbox and just 1 click and get it done. You do have to wait for it to finish scrolling and unloading everything before you can walk away, but it's better than sitting there clicking everything individually. For Omnibar, it's been a while since I've set this up, so if we hit the lock button, if we hit the test, there we go, that's what I was looking for. Unlock it, what we can see here for Omnibar is it shows all of the cooldowns and interrupts. This is the main reason I use it, for interrupts, so I can see what abilities and things I've been hit with recently so that I'm not trying to remember what's on cooldown. So I'm going to see test, so we're seeing all of the interrupts, all of the silences, cap totems, shadow furies, silencing shots, stuff from the Death Knights, all that good stuff. You can lock it to the center there. You can adjust the size of it if you want, the columns, padding, same thing as you can with Bartender. So it's very customizable. I don't need it to be fancy. I don't really need it to be massive. I've got decent eyesight, so right, funny jokes. I've got glasses, but I have decent eyesight. So I just need to be right there, center screen, with everything else going on. My nameplates, everything, because you can see my targeting is right there. Focus stays over here. So all my stuff that I need to see is center of screen, so I don't have to constantly be looking around trying to see stuff. This is a very handy add-on, whether you're new to PvP or if you're experienced, simply because it makes your job of keeping track of interrupts and stuns a lot easier, so you know when you're able to free cast. One of the skill caps for learning to play a caster, especially a healer, but casters in general, is simply the fake casting. And so this add-on is definitely one that capitalizes on that, because it lets you know when they've used their interrupt, whether they've actually interrupted something on you or not, and then you're able to then know when you can free cast. So, or at least when you can know you can expect to be interrupted. So this is one of those things where the more you know, or the more you're able to see, the more you're able to see the match from top view down, more or less, the more it's going to be helpful for you. So that, coupled with Gladius, you're going to get some good advantage in PvP simply by being able to see stuff that maybe other people aren't able to see. You can adjust it all. They're going to grow upwards, which is fine. Count downwards, which is pretty nifty. So you can even put the numbers on there if you're into that, which actually I should have that on. I don't know why I didn't have that on, which is kind of cool. You can even track multiple players, which is nifty. I don't really need it necessarily, I just need it for arenas. And you can even add additional spells that you want. So if you want to track, say, on monks, you want to keep track of Spear Hand Strike as well as Touch of Karma. Now, if you turn all these on, this is going to get massive, so then you might want to keep it over somewhere else on the screen so it has room for all of it. Again, I just don't really feel the need to track all of it, but again, that's completely up to you. If you want to keep track of every big cooldown going on in the game, be my guest. If that's what it's going to take for you to get better at PvP and get a better feel for kind of what's going on, then go for it. No shame in your game. You do whatever it takes to actually learn the game and get better. So, but again, I have this add-on for all of my casters, not just my paladin, but my priest, my mage, my holy paladin, my warlock, all that stuff. But I think that pretty much does it for all of our add-ons. I am sorry that this video was so long, but I wanted to be as informative as possible. Hopefully we kept it moving at a decent pace so it wasn't insanely boring for you guys to watch. I will put a link to Curse down in the video description below. Probably won't put a list to links of all the add-ons I use. I might though. We'll find out. Maybe depends on how lazy I'm feeling. But Curse is really easy to navigate. You just go to the website, go to the World of Warcraft add-ons, and you can search for it right there. But all of it's pretty easy to use, I think. But let me know if you have any questions. I would love to help you with it if at all needed. And I hope this was informative and entertaining for you. So if you guys have any other video requests, please let me know. And as I said at the beginning of this one, if it is in my ability to do so, I will get to them a lot of times as quick as possible. I had the request for this one on Monday. Tuesday's video is already planned, so Wednesday, here it is, and now we're getting it out. I do like doing the videos that you guys request. I really do. So again, if you have any requests for videos or things like that, please do let me know. And I would love to see if I can make them happen. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share the video if you think anybody you know would find this helpful or informative, all that good stuff. Shooting for 500 subs by summer, so help me get there. That'd be great. I appreciate your support. Thank you for all you guys that still stick around and hang out and continue to show your support by views, likes, and comments. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to follow me on all the different social media platforms that we have going on here. Instagram, Twitter, we have a Facebook page, all that stuff. Links for all that are around the page and in the description below. But I'd love to chit-chat with you guys and get to know you more. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.